This is topic 1-1. We're doing 1-1 today on integers, and we'll be doing 1-3 today on adding integers. So first, you should have a number line placed in here that we'll refer to, and we're going to write down what the definition is of an integer. So, integers. Integers are a set of counting numbers their opposites, and zero. Look right here. We have counting numbers starting at 1, going through 10, but this goes infinitely to the right. We have 0, and to the left we have negative numbers, and the negative number of -1 is the opposite of 1. -2 is the opposite of 2. So these negatives are the opposites of the number on the positive side, the same distance from 0. Now, what they cannot be. Integers cannot be fractions or decimals. So if we look here, if you look on the number line, anything that goes to the left on a number line decreases. And anything to the right and moving to the right on a number line increases. Now, number lines are not always turned left to right. Sometimes you'll see number lines like a thermometer that are top to bottom. And when you get a coordinate plane, you will see them going both directions, left and right, and top to bottom. We're going to just take a few pieces of information here that you may or may not already be familiar with. The first thing is absolute value. Okay? An absolute value that is only the distance from 0. And distance, this is important to know, distance is always positive. Okay? And here are some examples of that. The absolute value of 2 is 2. The absolute value of 0 is 0. And if you notice, this isn't positive, but that's because 0, there is no distance at all. So that's why it can't be a positive answer, but it can't be negative. Also, the absolute value of -5 is 5. The absolute value of 3 with a negative on the outside. What this means is you take the distance from 0, 3, and this means negative 1 times this. This means negative 1 times 3, which equals negative 3. We have a negative on the outside of the absolute value again, and we have negative 6 inside. Well, the absolute value of negative 6 is 6. So once again, you have negative 1, positive the negative here, times a positive 6, which equals a negative 6. Just a little advanced terminology there that we'll be learning later more in depth. Let's also include in this comparison symbols. I'm just going to draw a little line down through here just to separate my information so I can place comparison symbols on this side. Comparison symbols. Now, comparison symbols, you already know them whether you realize it or not. But here's your first one. It's like a crooked L is how I remember it, and that means less than. You have the opposite direction pointing this way, and that's greater than. I always look at these like arrows, and I always remember that it just points to the smaller number. The next symbol would be less than or equal to. Then we have greater than or equal. You already should know this one, no brainer here. This means equal. Just write it beside it. But not equal. How many people know what that symbol is? I'll go ahead and write it, but you just put a slash through it. That slash means not. Now once you've finished this page, you're going to turn to page 9. I'll flip on